Hey guys, Urban Z here, back with another video. Today we have the mighty AU Falcon, and as you've seen through the thumbnail and the title, we're installing a cold air intake. We have in front of us from the wreckers a forward territory intake, which doesn't have as much little holes, so you get a bit more airflow there. This is a very budget friendly intake, that's why we're doing it. It's very cheap to do, very easy to do. We have the K&N air filter, get rid of that shitty paper one, that's stock. And we have a 1 meter heater hose that we need to cut down the size for this thing. I think it's a breather or some sort of information that the ECU gets. And we've got 2 big clamps and 2 mini ones for the heater hose that will go around and clamp that. So you need a socket set, of course, flathead screwdriver. We're going to start off taking off these little bolts here and getting this intake off the throttle body, taking this hose off, getting the intake box off, these more pillars, and then putting on all the new stuff, and should run like a dream. There we go, just pops off just like that. As you can see, we have the shitty AU stock paper filter. This is junk, it's junk. Look at that, beauty mighty AU throttle body. So we're gonna have to take off the box here. There's 2 screws down the bottom here. One of them's a little bit hard to get to in that corner right there. And with a bit of work, the box is out. We're gonna take off this back hose as well. The part we're gonna be chopping is from the front, because we don't want to do it from the side because air builds up on the side here and you don't want to do it next to the engine, obviously that's hot. We should get a little bit of airflow from the headlights here, just around here, goes through into the box. Around here is about probably the highest point you want to go. The air filter should sit roughly around like here, and you want to have a tiny bit of room to let it, you know, kind of go through. So I'm going to cut a massive rectangle. We're going to do some measurements here. Alright, we're going to do a big rectangle from here down the bottom, and make sure this bracket doesn't get cut too much, because that's going to hold your box, and make sure it doesn't fucking vibrate heaps when you're hitting 6 grand on the RPM. Around about till there, down that beam, that should be alright. And I'm going to leave a little bit of structure to these things that hold the intake box, so here. And guys, if you fuck up the cut, you can always go to the wreckers and buy another $10 shitty intake box, so there we go. So that's roughly the size where you want to cut. You can go lower, but if your box vibrates too much and does the not good, then that's not my fault, that's your decision. But that's where we're going to cut today. So we'll grab the saw and we'll get cutting. Alright, make sure to get your vise, very good. Alright, not too bad. Okay, we cut a little bit too far over there. But that's alright, as long as that pops out. Don't forget to wear safety glasses, boys. I reckon we could probably hit that out with the screwdriver. But yeah, 4 little cuts, just like that. Just do the job. There we go. Fuck, I think I'm retarded. There we go. Oh, it's already oiled up. How juicy that is. That is. Alright, so the hole's been cleaned up. Got a bit of 80 grit, went around, just cleaned it up a tiny bit. So, chuck the filter on there. I'm going to put the clips back on the side of the box, get the box in, and then get the rest of the snorkel, and then we'll start working on that hose, and we should be done. Alright, I'll chuck the box fully in. Got to get it back in that snorkel. There we go, make sure it's tight, and we'll have to clip. But yeah, pretty much trying to match up those holes and that bottom hole to where the box sits. put all the bolts in first, just hand tighten them up, and then once they're all in, then start tying them with the socket. It's a 10 miller.
Yep.
Just get that one in. You might have a bolt in the corner. For some reason I have some rubber little knobbing thing.
It's not even a bolt.
Yeah, not even a bolt, but I don't know, it's just chilling there. Alright, okay, and then air filter. Get all these little brackets out the way. Make sure if you're putting a different brand one, make sure it's got a little bit of oil juice on it. Catch all those particles. Grab the lid. Good old stock lid. Stock lid. There you go. Oh, and we lost another clip. Like, no, I just want to do up all the clips. So, there we go. Now, time to grab the big rubber boy, strap it down, and then go to the throttle body, and we'll do that hose. Alright, so make sure you grab these little hex things that go into your 6 turbos here on the AU. Make sure you grab them off Territory when you're at the wreckers, or if you buy just the Territory intake, because this Territory intake goes a little bit higher up than the regular AU intake, so you're going to need these. It's a 14mm socket. Once you hand tighten them, that's 2. Then we grab our good old trusty Territory intake here. Sleeve it over the throttle body. Intake's on. There we go. Don't need that anymore. So make sure screw down these little bolts that hold in that intake. Okay, that one's tight. And as you see, we need to get a hose from there, back of the head there, so on the rocker cover. But first, let's strap off these 2 bits of this little rubber. Alright, now, this side's a little harder one because you have to pull it over a bit. Alright. And once you're done, just double check and make sure it's tight. Alright, I'm going to plug the heater hose 5/8 into each side. Roughly get a good estimate about where to cut. I've marked it here where we're going to cut. Give it a chop and I'll give you the exact measurements then. So I've cut the hose, plugging both ends. I would maybe go 2 or 3 centimeters more than this, but this one is about 57, so go maybe 60 centimeters, probably the perfect length you want if you're doing this at home. But we'll grab these little clips, chuck them on both ends, and we'll tie them up. Make sure you don't have any real sharp turns in your line, but that should do the job. Leave it just like that. We'll give her a test on the road, see how she goes. But yeah, that's a cold air intake with AU Falcon. Altogether, this cost me $120 for the K&N intake. I think it was $20 from the wreckers for the Territory intake and this rubber piece, and about $10 from Repco for that little heater hose. So altogether, if you have a little tool to cut the box and you want to spend maybe what 20-30 minutes doing this, you get yourself cold air intake for basically around $150 AD. But yeah, as I said, we'll go on the road and we'll see how she runs. 15's on the rear, so it's time for Mexico. guys, that's the end of the video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed how to do a cold air intake on the AU Falcon. Sounds pretty good, I like to think. You can hear the box, but stay tuned. We're going to do an exhaust, pacemaker extractors, and a little bit with the exterior, which you'll see in the next video. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure like, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.